Raven Payne, and you're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. This is our last Wednesday show for the semester, but we're going to have a great show with Mississippi Moments and a news wrap. We are having a student spotlight with a graduating student. Don't touch that dial because Kelsey Bowden will share some things that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Welcome back. On our USM campus, opening reception for the senior show in painting and drawing and sculptures and exhibition of BFA capstone projects by seniors in Art Plus Design. This is happening tomorrow, May the 4th, at 6 o'clock p.m. in the George Hurst Building, Gallery of Art and Design. Wind Ensemble in concert, a final performance of the semester by the university's premier wind band that will perform fare from across the spectrum of literature. This is also happening tomorrow, May the 4th at 7:30 in the Thomas V. Franchillo stage at the Mononi Performing Arts Center Auditorium. The School of Leadership will host the first screening of the documentary Still Working 9 to 5 at an educational institution. The screening will take place at the USM Gov Park campus in the Fleming Educational Center Auditorium on May 5th, 2023 at 5:30 p.m. This award-winning documentary explores the challenges and barriers to success for women in the workforce and society, and what progress has not been made for women since the original release of the 1980 blockbuster comedy To 9 to 5 about three secretaries fighting for basic workplace equality. This event will kick off research in the Human Capital Development doctoral programs on supporting women leaders in the workplace. We hope you will join us for a great evening. The event is free, but we ask that you reserve your ticket here. If you have questions, please call us at 228-214-3447. I repeat, 228-214-3447, or email us at schoolleadership@usm.edu. In our Hattiesburg news, this weekend, Spirit Park at the University of Southern Mississippi will welcome one of the Hub City's annual events. The Midtown Sounds concert series returns to Hattiesburg this Saturday, May 6th, as I mentioned of last week's show. This event is the third year being hosted. This year, it will be featuring Paul Thorne and his band. Organizers said the concert series is a great event to bring the community together, and the goal is to continue to attract both residents and visitors to Midtown area. The event is free for all ages. After a lawsuit and nearly 5 years of complaints about Mississippi's standard license plate being boring, a new design is on its way. Last November, the state kicked off a contest to redesign Mississippi's standard license plate. In just 1 month, more than 400 submissions came in from across the state. The License Tag Commission picked the winning design submitted by Leah Francis Eaton on Starkville. WDAM asked their Facebook followers for opinions on the new plates, and most seemed happy with the simple design. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back. On our USM Sports, Nick Monester helped Southern Miss rally from 3 runs down by hitting a 6-inning grand slam to lead the Golden Eagles to a 10-5 come-from-behind victory over Tulane Tuesday night at Pete Taylor Park / Hill Denson Field. The Golden Eagles won for the 7th straight time as they swept the 2-game season series from the Green Wave for the 2nd consecutive year. It is the longest winning streak for the program since 15 straight victories at one point last season. The Grand Slam was the first of Monastir's career and the second in as many games for the Golden Eagles and the third for the team of the season. Southern Miss returns to action this weekend as they take on the Sun Belt Conference foe, South Alabama, at home. The series kick off Friday with a 6 p.m. first pitch. 3 Southern Miss golfers were awarded All-League honors Tuesday by the Sun Belt Conference in a vote by the league's 14 coaches. Graduate transfer Cameron Clark earned first-team honors as well as being named the league's Newcomer of the Year, while sophomore Ryan Dupe garnered a spot on the second team and junior Robin Latter earned selection to the third team. On our breaking news, a former Southern Miss track star, Olympic medalist, has died at 32 years old. Her name was Tori Bowie. Bowie's death was announced today by her management company and USA Track and Field. No cause of death was given. Prayers are within her family and friends. To keep up with all Golden Eagle sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. In our weather today, it will be mostly sunny and warm with highs in the lower 80s. Expect clear skies tonight with lows in the low 50s. Sunny skies are forecasted to return on Thursday with high in the mid-80s and low in the lower 60s. Up next, we have Pete Johnson, former Governor Paul B. Johnson's nephew, recalls retelling something important. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Over the years, Pete Johnson heard many stories about his uncle, Governor Paul B. Johnson, Jr. He recalls how his uncle liked to travel the state by himself in an old pickup truck.
The only other time in the history of this state when things were as turbulent as they were in the 60s was during the Civil War. And when I see governors today and all the security they have around them and nothing's going on. Donald O'Kane said that they were checking licenses around Mendenhall. He said, Pete, I was a green Howard Trolman. He said, and I looked up, and this man drives up in an old green pickup truck and a sweater on. And he said, how you doing? And he's fine, can I see your license? He said, Pete, it was your uncle. He was in that truck by himself. Oh. He said he just pulled over and we stopped and he visited with us for a long time. And he did that all the time. He's probably going to Hattiesburg for the afternoon or whatever. You know, just got in that old green pickup truck and headed out. But he just did that kind of stuff a lot, and none of that stuff ever bothered him.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
Pete Johnson, former Governor Paul B. Johnson nephew, recalls retelling something important. We have an upcoming interview with our student spotlight, but right now, check out a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Southern Miss Student Media is how USM communication students put their education into action. The student prints, Southern Miss Radio, SMTV, and SM2 Creative are the media properties operated by Southern Miss Student Media. You can get your share of the more than $600 million USM brings to the area with help from Southern Miss Student Media. To find out more about how to reach the USM audience, email sm2sales@usm.edu.
Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Kelsey Bowden. Hey, Kelsey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Raven?
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing well, yeah.
We also have a check-in with our executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you both for being a guest today on Southern Miss Today. Please introduce yourselves so we to know who you are and who you represent.
Okay, well, I'll go first, I guess. My name is Kelsey Bolden, and I am a senior strategic communication major with minors in English and Spanish, and I am also the assistant manager of WUSM.
Awesome. And my name is Whitney Howard. I am the executive producer of Southern Miss Today. I am also a PhD student, and I'm excited to be on air with my team today. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome,
Doing well.
awesome.
How do you like this semester so far in the spring as your upcoming graduation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really enjoyed it. I definitely think I did a lot at one time, but I loved every event that I could attend, every organization that I'm a part of. It was a very successful semester, I would say.
Same for you, Miss Whitney. How was your semester this spring?
Challenging. But, they told me that, Drake has a song that says, you know what it was when you signed up. And they told us that the PhD program was not going to be easy, and they did not lie. But, this is the moment that I wanted to come on the show today to really talk about and let our listeners really know how excited I am about the ending of this semester and how grateful I am for the team that I have. I know this show is a student spotlight, but I just want to just say how graciously I am appreciative of you guys for helping me make this show a success on WUSM, and even through the ups and downs, trials that we've had, the challenges we have always overcome. And part of me being on air today is to thank you guys so much. And I'll get more into depth with how I feel about each and every one of you guys just a little later on.
What made both of you guys pick your majors?
So originally I was a broadcast journalism major my freshman year, and that's just because I wanted to talk. To be honest, I literally just wanted to talk and be on air. Even though I'm really shy, I found enjoyment doing anytime I could speak publicly. I don't know why, but I really liked it, so I thought I'd be a good fit for TV, on air on TV. And I quickly found out that was not the lifestyle for me because, of course, you have to start out as a reporter, then make your way to an anchor, and I really just wanted to be an anchor essentially. But with reporting, you have to go out and do person on the street interviews, and I'm just not the type of person to do that. I get really shy, so I switched my major to strategic communication because I still wanted to do something where I could talk to people in a professional setting and really just make a living out of it. And I don't know if your question applies to minors, but my minors are Spanish and English, like I said, and I actually started learning Spanish when I was 2, and I'm not fluent by any means. It was kind of touch and go with my Spanish, but I do want to eventually become fluent, and I love learning Spanish. I'm learning a lot, or I did learn a lot in my classes, and with English, I liked English since middle school, so I could have double majored, but I did want to have all three, the strategic communication, English, and Spanish, all a part of my degree plan. So that's where I am now.
Awesome. Well, I beg to differ with the comment you made about you being shy. I really do. I mean, you expelled everything that you're doing, that you had decided to do, and you're making it happen. I don't know, when people ask me my decision about why I'm here, I don't know. I always tell people that this was not originally my plan. God seems to have another plan for us. Even when we think we have one, he has a new alignment. And me pursuing a PhD here at Southern Miss, I had applied to other colleges, and for some reason I came to visit here, took a tour, drove all the way 6 hours from Texas. I took a tour here, and I just fell in love with the campus. You know, even though I have an experience of teaching 20 years plus, even prior to getting here, I felt like this was a place that God had sent me, you know, to pursue my PhD, and it's been a great journey. It's been challenging. You know, they didn't lie. They said the PhD program was hard, and so I'm seeing that, but I'm really finding it rewarding because I'm learning so many avenues about the field of communication, and you know, me being normally on air radio, where I come from in Houston, on air and on television, you know, it's different with being in the scope of communication and not being in more of the technical side. On the technical side of it, I'm more writing about it, which, you know, it's been rewarding. It's been really great. So I want to take the host position for a moment, and I want to let all of you all know that also in the studio, which he's on the engineer board, we have Matt. I don't know if Matt's mic is hooked up or if he hears me, but I mean, we want to invite Matt to join in on this conversation as well. Can you answer that question that Raven asked?
I'm sorry, I missed it. I was trying to mess with the faders.
She can ask the question again, and let's hear Matt's view.
The question I asked was, what made you pick your, major? I think that's what the question was. Yes.
Yeah, that was it.
I've been doing sound and recording and live sound for 20-something years, so it's kind of one of those things I've just been doing my whole life. So, you know, I didn't want to teach this old dog a new trick. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. You said 20 years. I didn't expect that. I mean,
actually, more like 28 years.
Oh my God.
93, I started.
So now you're telling your age, and that's something I didn't expect. We also have who decided not to speak today, but I'm going to mention him because he's part of the team. Devontae Anthony is on the video producing board, who's filming us right now. Hope you got my good side. You got my good side, Devontae? All right, he says yes. Devontae is shy today, and he's graduating this semester. I am so proud of him. I can truly say I've seen him grow and really become a prodigal student here. He has one of the most biggest smiles. You'll know him when you see him on campus, because if you say, Devontae, sing, yeah. Look, he's smiling now. You guys need to see this smile. Young man has a beautiful smile, and I'm excited about his future.
I don't know if, Matt, Kelsey, or Miss Whitney, y'all been around for the global, pandemic with COVID-19. How was your college experience impacted by that?
So when COVID hit, I was in my second semester of freshman year. So I didn't even have a full year as a freshman, like a normal quote-unquote semester. I never experienced that. And honestly, I can say it was really jarring because during that semester in which COVID hit, we had to transition in March to online classes, and a lot of my professors were still trying to figure out how to even move their courses to an online mode. So everyone was trying to figure everything out. I'll never forget the day when the residence hall told us that we had to move out. I mean, it was the sky looked weird. I'm not even exaggerating. It was just a really different, for lack of a better word, day. I mean, it was amazing. And then the following semester of my sophomore year, I think all of my classes were online. And it was kind of a challenge. I've never learned fully online before at that point, at any time in my life. In high school, middle school, all of that was in person. That's the only mode I knew. So you could tell everyone was trying to figure everything out. A lot of events weren't in person anymore. So now, things are starting to open back up. I still, of course, wear my mask if people can see. But I think it just really shows how, you never know when something is going to happen. And that includes a deathly pandemic. You just never know when it'll hit, but you have to adjust. And I've fared pretty well, I would say, for that to happen in the early aughts of my collegiate career.
Well, of course, I wasn't in Hattiesburg. I was in Houston, and I don't know. I agree with everything Kelsey said. Everything just immediately started to look gloomy. The sky, people, attitude. I mean, for us that know what happened to New Orleans when Katrina hit, just magnify that globally. I mean, the impact that COVID 19 had on the world was horrific. And I was one of the first ones in that first batch of people that had been affected by COVID 19. It was so bad, I really thought I was not going to make it. I mean, I couldn't breathe. I had cold sweats at night. I would literally take my sheets off every day because I had totally drenched them at night, and it was horrible. And so, God saw fit for me to, live through that, even though some of my friends and family and other people, that we know did not make it. I mean, being in school, I was in school, of course, and teaching at the same time. The school that I taught at closed for a while, so that part of my life was over, but I was in school, and just like Kelsey said, everything went to virtual learning. The teachers were not understanding. I had never heard of Zoom in my life. Never heard of Zoom until, we got this pandemic and people were trying to figure out what to do. Students were being reluctant to sign on and couldn't get in communication with teachers, and teachers were trying to figure out how to use a Zoom platform, and it was horrible. It was horrible, but we endured. How about you, Raven?
Well, I was not here. I'm a transfer student, but I ain't never stayed on campus in my old community college. I just went home, but for me, I was in high school, I think, when the first pandemic hit. My junior year, when everything just got shut down and such, and I couldn't be out anyway because I had bad health problems as it is, so I really couldn't be out there, and it was really disappointing because that just ruined my whole junior and senior year, because for one, my health, and for two, prom was right there, and everything had to get shut down, and it just made me realize that you got to be proud of what you have now, and then make them regret then, basically.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I had a couple graduations that did make. I mean, we graduated, we got the degree, but we could not walk the stage, and I was really upset about that. How about you, Matt?
I was in Denver, actually, and I'd gone back to school for the, first time in 26 years, something like that. So it was my first semester. Everybody went on spring break, and then all the bottom fell out. So the company I was working for shut down. There was no sign of life for the next 6 months. So I was going to either starve to death or move back to Mississippi where my family was. So
Yeah,
here I am.
much, pretty much.
It changed everybody's world.
In what ways have you changed throughout your whole college experience?
Oh, that's a really good question. And I ask myself that often. I would say I've become more, kind of alluding to what you were saying about you have to be present because you never know what could happen. I'm adopting more of that mentality now because I am someone who I worry a lot. I get really anxious often. And sometimes it can be hard for me to live in the present. I can be stuck in the past sometimes. But, I mean, I'm only 21, but as I get older, I have to realize, my youth is now. I can do so much now, and I can have so many plans for the future. So I really just have to enjoy what I have. So that's really the big takeaway that I've gotten from these 4 years at the university.
Well, I'm an old girl. My mentality has not changed that much. I wish I was 21. I'm in the 50 plus category. But one of the things that I will say is rewarding is that, for those who are in the 50 plus, the golden years, I really, really want to commend you all, us, for going back to school to do something that I hear the 21-year-old age saying that, wow, I wish I could have done this back then. But I have no regrets because, my journey transition to something totally different from what I've always been doing, which still ended up being great. So I don't know. I'm just excited about where I'm going after this. I know I need to get it over with because Father Time's not stopping, and I'm getting older. So I want to go ahead and get this over with as soon as possible.
Yeah, I know that's right.
All right. Any last words that we have?
Thank you both for coming on today's show and providing a voice to our Eagles.
Thank
No
you for
problem.
having us.
Thank you. And thank you all. This is Raven's last show. I'll say this before we end. This is Raven's last show for this semester, and I want to thank you for being a host of Southern Miss Today. You've done an amazing job. Her first time on the radio. And let's give a big shout out to your mom. I know she's listening, right? So thank you all so much. And Kelsey's graduating. And I want to say thank you. I wish you the greatest luck, much success in your career. And Devontae is also graduating, as mentioned earlier. I wish him so much success. Matthew will be here with me, and I just want to thank him for stepping up and, and learning what it takes to be in radio, on production, live, on air. All those things are really not easy. So thank you guys for helping me out. I'm your executive producer. My name is Whitney Howard.
Oh, and I didn't want to cut Matthew off.
Oh.
Matthew, I'll let you go.
Coming up, we got
Matthew Lee, radio engineer.
I'm Kelsey Bolden, assistant manager. Sorry to cut you off, Raven.
you good.
Not intentional.
Coming up, we got Charlie Luttrell covers Eric Scott Jr. and his experience in the 2023 NFL Draft.
The NFL Draft is a day many players dream of their whole lives, and one Southern Miss player had that dream become a reality in the 2023 NFL Draft.
Coach, I can't wait. You're going to get 110 from me. I appreciate everything.
The Dallas Cowboys selected Southern Miss defensive back Eric Scott Jr. with the first pick of the 6th round.
Boys Nation, what's going on? It's Eric Scott checking in from Kansas City. I just got drafted. I can't wait to get down to Dallas and give you guys everything I got.
Scott is the first Golden Eagle to be selected since Quez Watkins in 2020 and the highest pick since Tarvarius Moore in 2018. 14 Golden Eagles declared for the draft this offseason, and while Scott was the only player selected in the 7 rounds, several players were picked up after the draft. Some boards projected star receiver Jason Brownlee to be drafted on the 3rd day, but he slipped out of the draft. Still, he was one of the first names to go in the undrafted free agency signings. He joins the New York Jets on a receiving corps that will work with future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Offensive lineman Tykeem Doss also signed an undrafted free agency deal with the Baltimore Ravens, where he could be protecting the league's highest paid player, quarterback Lamar Jackson. And outside of undrafted signings, 2 players have been invited to teams' mini camps this offseason. The Chicago Bears invited defensive end Dominic Kuon to the rookie minicamp, and cornerback Natron Brooks also received an invite from the Jets. Linebacker Santrell Latham also accepted a deal with the Michigan Panthers of the United States Football League. There are now 10 former Southern Miss players on active NFL rosters, and these undrafted players will look to work their way up to finding a spot on their new teams. This has been Charlie Luttrell with the 4th Street Sports Show.
Thanks for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to Matthew Lee, our audio engineer, our video producer, Devontae Anthony, Jalen Pagan, our assistant producer, Kelsey Bowden, our assistant manager, as well as executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, and our general manager, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I'm your Wednesday show host, Raven Payne. Stay Golden Eagles.